Just got back from a cool podcast episode. Did it over at Greg Pollock's house, man. Super cool guy, man. Like, this dude, one of the most humble people. Like, it's always funny to me. You see people that getting a little bit of money. They got 10 pair of Jordans. They got the Gucci belt. They got the Louis Vuitton bag. They got a cool little car. They got some rims. Got them gold chains. And then you got people that have started companies that are worth millions, that got money in the bank. And like, I remember me and him, I went out to eat, and this dude just showed up, just rode a bicycle, had nothing fancy on, just some jeans, a t-shirt, ordered the food, asked for a water cup. It's practical, man. Like, so never judge people by, you know, outward appearances. That's what I've come to really learn, because the people that really got money, they're not out here flashy, and you won't know who they are. So that's just something to keep in mind. But went over to his house, super amazing house, man. It's called The View, but the view is just amazing. But one thing we're talking about on the podcast, and I'll link to the full episode below. I think also I'm gonna upload some videos too, so maybe I'll link to those too. But one thing he was saying is that people got to start getting more creative when it comes to giving up, or should I say not giving up. And what he means by that is, a lot of people, you get to a part where either you feel like you have a competition, or a point where you're not getting as much traction, or it's not moving in the direction that you want to go. And a lot of people just give up. And he's like, man, you got to be creative. You got to come up with ways to keep going. Like, this is your life. And so he's like, for him, he's like, he ended up asking his dad for a little bit of help, and he ended up being able to help him. And he's like, you never know. That could be you too. So instead of stopping your dreams, maybe you need to ask your family for some money. Maybe you need to ask your parents for some money. Maybe you need to ask your friends for some money. Maybe you need to start a Patreon account. Maybe you need to do a GoFundMe. Maybe you need to have some investors. Maybe you need to start charging for different services. It's just like, don't give up so early. This is your life, and this is something that you want to do for the rest of your life. So don't just give up. There's more ways to figure things out. And you might be at home saying, well, how do I know what ways to work? No one in my family is going to give me money, so that's out the question, you know? Or maybe you've tried Patreon, or you tried something. What he was suggesting is reach out to people that have done what you're trying to do already in your space. So how many people have you reached out to that are the leaders in what you're trying to do? And have you asked them, hey, how did you get where you're trying to go? How did you overcome your difficulties? Maybe you can ask them, hey, I need some help. What directions can you point me in? Maybe they'll help you. Maybe they'll point you in the direction. But don't just give up. Don't let it be that simple. You got to figure out ways. Like, get creative. Find different ways to keep your dream alive. And I think that's really important. I know people that are super talented photographer, super talented beat maker, super talented basketball player, soccer player, super talented, you name it. But they went through a little bit of adversity, a little bit of tough times. Now they're in some office, in some cubicle for the next 30 years. And the world deserves to see you doing what you do best. I know it's hard, and I know not everyone can do it, but if you can find something you're passionate about that adds value to the world, that's going to be so much better. Even if you don't make millions, billions, hundreds of thousands, just trust me. So I wanted to give you guys that little message before I went to sleep. And like I said, you can listen to it on the podcast for more in depth, but don't give up. Figure out creative ways to keep the dream alive, to keep going. There's more ways than you know, and you're not going to know unless you ask. Like it says in the Bible, ask and thou shalt receive. So if you're not asking, you're not going to receive. So get out there, find some creative ways, start asking some people. Just find out how you can keep your dream alive. Don't stop. Ain't no need, baby. You got this. You can do it. Just keep pushing, stay after it, and keep hustling.